This development comes less than 24 hours after the White House indicated that they were closer to an agreement than they'd ever been during the weeks-long behind-the-scenes negotiations.
I want to say a few words about the ongoing effort to bring home the hostages. And Hamas has been holding them since October the 7th. We've been working on this intensively for weeks, as you all know. I've spoken recently about it with both the Prime Minister Netanyahu and the Emir of Qatar. My team has been in the region shuttling between the capitals. We're now very close, very close. We could bring some of these hostages home very soon, but I don't want to get into the details of things because nothing is done until it's done. And when we have more to say, we will, but things are looking good at the moment.
מאוד חזקה.
Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu earlier echoed US sentiments, expressing optimism that a deal could provide good news soon, with similar views expressed by Hamas.
We prefer not to go into details, but what can be said today is that there have been dialogues for over a month, and we exchanged suggestions and responses here and there under the auspices of Qatar and Egypt. Thank you for that, and we've appreciated them from the first days. Now we believe that we are in a decisive moment, and we all hope, God willing, that this temporary truce will lead to a cessation of aggression for days.
Preliminary reportage on the outlines of a possible agreement point to the release of an initial 50 hostages, only women and children, in exchange for a pause of several days in fighting. Additionally, each hostage released by Hamas would see the release of 3 Palestinian prisoners currently held in Israeli jails. The pause would also allow Hamas time to gather up additional hostages held in various locations in Gaza and also clear the pathway for much-needed humanitarian aid into the Gaza enclave, buckling under a humanitarian catastrophe.
We're also working to increase the flow of life-saving humanitarian assistance, food, water, medicine. We're calling for respecting the international law in terms of minimizing the loss of innocent lives. And of course, we're continuing to advocate for humanitarian pauses so that people can get out of harm's way and that aid and assistance can get in. Following Israel's announcement that it's allowing fuel now into Gaza to support non-governmental organizations at our strong request, we are now tracking that 6 trucks have crossed down into Gaza with approximately 18,000 gallons of fuel. That will help support food distribution and it will help generators for the hospitals.
It's understood that Israel's war cabinet and the government must sign off on the agreement before it's finalized. If the first phase of the pause and exchanges go well, it could provide confidence-building measures for additional hostage exchanges that would bring relief to the families of those taken who've been desperate for news of their loved ones held since Hamas's October 7th attack in Israel. Additionally, the pause in fighting will allow the provision of humanitarian aid to be scaled up into Gaza, with over 2 million people trapped in the enclave, desperate for a moment of peace. Sherwin Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.